Oh, I messed up. Oh, no, I didn't. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the little mess up, but welcome to Friday Night Movie Night here on the Basement Show with Mr. Knast. I am Mr. Knast. Joining us tonight in studio is Mr. Ron.
Hey, guys.
And unfortunately, Andrea had to miss another week. She had something come up, but she will be back next week for some fun movie night antics. She promises a fun show next week. She's already planning it, she said. So we're just going to hang out and talk some movies. So if you're just popping in the chat, feel free to let us know that you're here. And let us know what you want to talk about tonight. I mean, me and Ron normally pick the subject, but tonight I figured I would do an open forum. We might pull up a list of some sort. But if there's a certain type of movie that you want to talk about, feel free to let us know. So
just not Star Wars.
Just not Star Wars, because I have no clue about Star Wars. That's the sad part. I don't know nothing about Star Wars. I have yet to see any of them. Eventually, in time, I will. But for the time being, Star Wars is not my strong suit. I will be the
not in the wheelhouse.
So we were thinking maybe we could go back into our cult classics list. They were pretty in depth. We had also maybe talked about doing sci-fi movies. I mean, there's a bunch. So if you're looking in the chat, just pop coming in. Let us know what you want to talk about. But for the time being, I will bring up a cult classic list, and we can start chit-chatting about that.
There you go. That'll work.
Where my screen go? In the studio, I think I kicked myself out of my own show.
Hey, how about that?
There we go. I got it. That was
Okay.
weird. But that's part of business. I mean, I never lost audio or nothing, so.
No, you did not.
And I'm sure people can still see me. Cult Classics, I am DB. If I can spell that right. ID. Here you go. I think we did top 400, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Greatest cult classics on the IMDb, and we did 1 to 100, I believe. So,
Correct. Yes, we did.
All right, let's scroll down. I will name some of these movies off if people have ever seen them. Feel free. I mean, me and Ron have watched a lot of movies ourselves, but we like the people to interact with this show, where we just talk about random movies and stuff. I mean, we could even open up the TV shows too. There's certain TV shows people like. So, number 101, we have a movie called Crybaby. 1990, Johnny Depp, Ricky Lake, Amy Locone, and Susan Tyrrell.
Yes.
Have you seen
John Waters from Baltimore. Crybaby was probably one of his more popular, along with when they did, what was the other one? You know the one.
John Waters. Let me see if I can find out some.
Yeah, wait a second. Just give me a second. I'll get it. I'm losing my mind today.
Seed of Chucky, Hairspray.
Hairspray. That's the one I was trying to think of.
Okay, that came out in 1988.
But Crybaby, Johnny Depp, it was a pretty good vehicle for him. It was early in his career. And then some of the supporting cast in there were some of the regular characters from John Waters films. I actually had an appearance by Miss Tracy Lords, who was famous for some other kind of movies.
Okay.
but she was a John Waters favorite. Um, Also, Divine, the probably the number one top uh, Waters favorite from Pink Flamingos and films of that nature, also appeared in the film. However, was appeared as male, I believe, in that particular one, even though they were known more for their female persona.
Gotcha. Now, when it says Ricky Lake, is that the talk show Ricky Lake, or is that a
Yes,
different
it
one?
is the talk show Ricky Lake. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know she was an actor.
Yeah, she was. She was an actor before she was a talk show host.
Interesting. I mean, it looks like a movie. As you see Johnny Depp's face, not many movies of his you see him not with some type of makeup on or
Yeah,
anything like
it
that.
was kind of it, it was kind of like Hairspray in the way that there were musical numbers that were kind of intermingled in the film. So you had a film going on, but you also had some musical aspects to it as well. He was very much an Elvis like character in this.
I was gonna say, looking at the movie cover, that's kind of the first thing that popped in my head. Like, damn, Johnny Depp is Elvis Presley. I can see it.
That's kind of what they were going for, I think. Kind of the teen heartthrob kind of thing
Okay.
during that time. And most of John Waters' stuff is all period pieces, so they're always set in the '60s or in the '50s or the '60s and in
Fair enough.
Baltimore. So they're almost all set in Baltimore.
I,
Hairspray was set in Baltimore. Crybaby was set in Baltimore. That was just his thing.
interesting. Okay. Number 102, you have Big Trouble in Little China.
Ah,
Directed by John Carpenter. Stars Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall, Dennis Dunn, and James Hong.
I love this movie.
And the floor is yours.
I can watch this movie over and over and over again, and I'd never get tired of it. Um, it was campy. It was ridiculous at times. It was funny at times, and a lot of times.
Mm.
And there was some weird special effects going on. However, Kurt Russell as the hero was definitely a great film to go back and watch. I want to watch it again.
I think I've seen some of it. I can't say I've watched the whole thing. So I'll
It,
add that to my list to watch it all the way through.
it's one of those ones where you're flipping through the channels and you see it and you stop,
I mean, there's a
and
lot of movies like that.
you could watch it at any point, and you'll enjoy it from that point to the end.
Fair enough. I mean, that's how the next movie on the list is, in my opinion. Number 103, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Wow, at 103.
Yep.
Well, you could take the lead on this one.
I mean, what more can you add? I guess Matthew Broderick, Alan Rick, Mia Sarah, Jeffrey Jones, directed by John Hughes, Mr. Director of the 1980s. I mean, about a kid that fakes being sick to get off from school like he always does, convinces his best friend to let him take out his dad's Ferrari, and then they go pick up Ferris's girlfriend at school, acting like her parents or whatever. And they just cruise Chicago. They get in a parade. He's now like the famous meatball maker in all Chicago.
Abe Froman, the Sausage King.
The Sausage King, that's what it was.
Yes.
And then Jeffrey Jones's character is out to get him because Jeffrey Jones in this is his high school principal.
Yes.
And
Also, a couple other people that popped in. Well, a major role for Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing as Ferris's sister.
Yep.
And also a young Charlie Sheen
Yep.
as a guy who's in the police station when Ferris's sister is there, and they end up having a connection, so to speak.
It's kind of weird though. Okay, now that I think about it, you kind of put two movies together. Okay, now hear me out on this one. You might think I'm weird. So with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you have Charlie Sheen, like you just explained, in a police station in an orange jumpsuit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
a couple years later, I think two to be exact, you have the first Major League movie come out, and where's
Yes.
Charlie Sheen coming from? The California Penal League.
Yep.
Are they connected?
Hey, he's typecast.
I'm just saying. Think about it. Isn't that weird how it works out?
Yeah. Winning.
And then later down the road, another movie he did with Christy Swanson, what was it? The Chase.
The Chase, yeah, where he was the kidnapper.
Yes.
Yes.
So I mean, if you ask me, Charlie Sheen kind of had a, like, I guess, biting role back in the 80s, early 90s.
And then he lived it in real life,
Yeah.
snorting cocaine off of hookers.
It's a shame to see him go downhill because he was actually really enjoyable in a lot of his early stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
In 2.5 Men, especially with on the TV show.
Yeah.
You know, and then,
And he was making $1 million an episode.
Damn.
When he gave that all up.
It's a shame. I mean, you see, someone can be on top of Mount Ashmore 1 minute and then they're crashing down the next.
Yeah, that's true.
But Ferris Bueller's Day Off is definitely one of those movies that you can, like you said earlier, pick up and just watch anytime you want.
Dankeschön.
Dancing on the parade float.
Yeah. Anytime I hear Twist and Shout, though, that's the first thing I think of. I don't think of the Beatles. I think of Ferris Bueller.
That's a fair assessment. I can see that.
Yeah.
So number 104 is a movie I've probably never seen. Rock and Roll High School.
The Ramones.
Came out
Yes,
in 1979.
PJ Souls, I think, was in that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, P.J. Souls, Vincent Van Patten, Clint
Yep.
Howard, and Deb Young.
Yeah, definitely a cult kind of movie. Really was not a big box office success. Did have a soundtrack by the Ramones. I think Joey Ramone actually appeared in the film at some point.
Okay.
But PJ Souls actually went on after that to get murdered. One of the first people to get murdered by Michael Myers in the original Halloween movie.
Oh, wow.
She was the blonde when he comes in the room with the sheet over his head and says, do you like what you see?
Wait, so she was the dumb bimbo in the bed messing with her boyfriend.
Correct.
Wow.
That would be her. And she was also in Stripes with Bill Murray as one of the MPs that got the Aunt Jemima treatment.
Interesting. I mean, it's funny how you can rewind certain movies and then realize that somebody's in that movie, then you'll see them down the road. I had brought that up a couple weeks ago when I watched Dead Man on Campus, that it just dawned on me, one of the main characters in that later became Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell.
Right. Yeah, you remember you mentioning that the other week.
So it's like one of those ones that you smack your head and say, oh, wow. So, after Rock and Roll High School at 105, we have a movie called Lost Highway. 1997, directed by David Lynch. Stars Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, John Rossless, and Louis Epstein. Never heard of it.
No. It is David Lynch, though, but wasn't one that I recall a lot about. So,
anonymous videotapes for the stage, a musician's murder conviction, and a gangster's girlfriend leads a mechanical ashtray. I mean, Bill Pullman was pretty popular, but that's one I can't say I've seen.
yeah, no, I don't recall much about it, if anything. I think I might have seen part of it once, but.
All right. Well, some movies we see, some movies we haven't, and I haven't seen that one.
Yep.
Number 106, 1994's Once Were Warriors. Directed by Lee Tamhoy, Rhea Owen. Again, probably a movie I've never seen, probably one you've never heard of.
No.
Okay. After that, Altered States.
Altered States. William Hurt. That's a freaky one. It has to do with deprivation tanks and like out of body kind of experiences while you're. It's like a seeing visions and stuff when you're in a sensory deprivation tank.
I don't think I'd like that too much. That sounds kind of creepy.
Kind of primal, you know.
Primal fuel type thing.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
All right, fair enough. After that one, another John Carpenter movie, The Thing.
The Thing.
Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, Keith David, Richard Mauser.
That's before he had the beatus.
The Beatus?
Wilford Brimley. He had the diabetes.
Oh.
That's how he used to say it. He had the beatus.
The Beatus. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I've heard of this one. I don't think I've seen it. Again, because it's John Carpenter. I think it got somewhat popular because he was making all the Halloween movies at this time.
Yeah.
So, says a research team in Antarctica is hunted. Good evening, Jack. It's a research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims.
Yeah, that was freaky. I remember when I watched it at the time, it was scary. I mean, it was John Carpenter scary.
Now, didn't they remake this? If I'm not
they
mistaken?
did. Yes, they did.
And I think the remake came out in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the original is still the better of the two. My belief.
Going to switch some more music. All right, Jack, you have a good night. At 109, 1987, Angel Heart.
Angel Heart. De Niro, Mickey Rourke, Lisa Bonet from the Cosby Show. Is like a Cajun character. This was originally rated the equivalent of NC-17 when it first came out, and it was actually released on video in both versions, both in an R-rated and in an NC-17 rated version.
Interesting.
One of the few movies that actually released it in both formats.
Yeah, because on the ratings it says X.
Yeah, that was the equivalent. Yeah. So very, very graphic. Scary, suspenseful. Yes, definitely. And De Niro. So you can't really go wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not many horror movies that you see De Niro in. The only one that pops in my head that he was in that was very suspenseful was when he teamed up with Dakota Fanning and they did Hide and Seek.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever seen that one or not?
I did back in the day. Also, Cape Fear.
Yep, Cape Fear's another one.
De Niro, very, very suspenseful. And then, let's see, I was trying to think of one other one I had in my head, but it wasn't De Niro, it was Pacino.
Oh, okay.
So Pacino and Robin Williams in like a murder. Pacino and Hilary Swank are cops, and Robin Williams is possibly a serial killer.
Oh wow, I gotta look that one up. That got me intrigued.
Oh yeah, that was for Robin. It was great. It was the one he did after 1 Hour Photo, which was also a really twisted role for him. When he kind of delved into some dark stuff. But both of those movies together, definitely worth a watch.
I'm going to find this. Seize the Day, Good Morning Vietnam, Awakenings, Dead Again, So what?
It was
Being Human, The Birdcage. You said Al Pacino's in it, right?
yep.
Billy Crystal. Bicentennial Man. 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
Death to Smoochie. Insomnia.
Insomnia. Yep. That was the one.
Okay. So that came out the same year as Death to Smoochie. So.
Yeah. Which was twisted.
So
Also.
Well, that's why it's so twisted, because Christopher Nolan directed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Definitely.
I'm gonna break that one down. I'm watching that later.
Yep.
2 LA homicide detectives are dispatched to a northern town where the sun doesn't set to investigate the mythological murder of a local teen. Sign me up.
Definitely a great character for Robin, though. Some of his best work.
Well, that whole time period was good.
Yeah.
He had some really good works back in the day. I mean, I love the movie with him and Robert De Niro, Awakenings.
Yeah.
He's the doctor trying to find the cure for Parkinson's.
You had Awakenings, and then Patch Adams and Good Will Hunting, and you can just go on and on.
Oh yeah, you could have a whole Robin Williams night on here if you wanted to.
Yeah, we really could.
Maybe we have to plan that going forward.
The World According to Garp. That one.
I was gonna say, is that a movie or is that Robin
Williams
of it?
That is a movie.
Okay.
That was based on a book. I read the book first, and then I saw the movie, and that had Robin Williams and had John Lithgow as a former Philadelphia Eagles tight end who had a sex change. I'm just going to give you that, and that's going to make you want to watch it, just for John Lithgow.
Okay. Now, if you say so, I will.
But it's a very, very dark story. And the book's even worse.
Well, considering the last book I read, I was a sophomore in high school. Chances are I'm just going to watch the movie over to read the book.
Yeah.
I have a very short attention span when it comes to reading books. I apologize, but...
Unless you have like a book report to, and don't watch the movie Lord of the Flies, because you're going to get it wrong, because they changed the ending.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they have Spark Notes.
That's how teachers know if you cheated and watched the movie, because the ending was wrong.
The ending is wrong. No, the last time I had to do a book report, I think I was going into my sophomore year, and my parents actually locked me in my bedroom until I read my 2 books.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't allowed to come out unless I had to go to the bathroom, eat, or shower. That was the only time I was ever allowed out of my room till those 2 books were done and my reports were done.
So after you were done the second book, did you have to yell out, "Okay, I like green eggs and ham now. Let me out"?
Not well, doing one of these numbers. My bedroom was right next to the kitchen, so they heard me knocking and they knew I was done.
Nice.
But I forget. I think it was Fahrenheit 51.
Oh, 451. Yeah.
451, and I forget the other one, but yeah, it was brutal. I was in my room.
Well, that's a pretty intense book, Fahrenheit 451, and it was long too.
Yeah. Like I said, I was in my room for about 4 days.
And there was a movie made about that.
Yes, there was. The movie was better.
Do you know the significance of the title?
I do. I forget. Oh God.
451 is the temperature in which books burn.
Someone did mention that in one of the reports, so
yeah,
you're very smart. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, you're so fresh as a cucumber. My mind's it's that stupid movie.
Trust me, I got no control about what's swimming up around there. You know, it's just in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's that peanut in the back of my head. Maybe.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what I had for dinner yesterday, but I can tell you about a movie from 1979. Oh boy, lucky me.
Who has their priorities in check, Ron?
Yeah, there you go.
But after Angel Heart, we have Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me.
Okay,
Another David Lynch movie.
David Lynch again. David Lynch is big on these lists because he's a cult classic kind of director.
Sounds like. I mean, I read what 3 of his movies just in the first set 3 movies, 10 movies we talked about so far.
And Twin Peaks was a TV series. The movies came after the series or during, in the latter part of the series, I should say, or it might have been after even. But the TV series was definitely first.
What was better, the TV series or the movies?
The TV series, actually, in my opinion.
Okay.
I was a big fan. It was ABC, and it was very cutting edge for the time. And they took a lot of flack for it, but they stuck with it.
Interesting. Just like how, like we were talking a couple weeks ago, how you have the Chucky movies, now you have a Chucky TV show.
Yep.
That is somewhat a little bit better than some of the movies. It's not as gory and graphic. There's scenes that are, but you get in more of a story aspect than you would in the movies, which makes it enjoyable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Season 3 coming out in October. I read that last week.
Nice.
Can't wait. Number 111, Apocalypse Now, 1979.
Star-studded.
Martin Sheen, Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall, Frederick Forrest, just to name a couple of them.
Yeah, it was packed. Very highly acclaimed. They said it was one of the best. A lot of veterans said that it was probably one of the more realistic portrayals of what it was actually like.
In Vietnam, right?
Yes. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Smells like victory.
There you go. Sam Bottoms, Lawrence Fishburne, Albert Hall, Harrison Ford. Holy shit.
Yep.
It's
packed.
I'd say. Damn. You weren't lying.
Yep.
Dennis Hopper. Such an underrated actor.
Dennis Hopper?
Yes.
Yeah.
King Koopa. Have you ever watched the original?
Yes, if that's the last thing that he's known for, that would be.
No, I wouldn't say it's that. I mean, I also know him for the movie Speed. He plays the Mad Bomber.
Yeah. Easy Rider.
Easy Rider.
Which he directed and starred in with Peter Fonda.
I think you mentioned that before. Pretty sure you did.
Oh, who knows? I flap my gums a lot.
No, you know your stuff. Velvet, Waterworld. Let's see what else we have him in. Swing Vote, Sleepwalking. He appeared in Entourage for an episode.
He was pretty good in Waterworld, even though Waterworld was such a horrible movie. But he played a pretty good character.
Waterworld, that is Kevin Costner, right?
Yes, correct.
I could have just clicked on it if I wanted to, but I was trying to be smart and sound interactive, okay? Yeah, he got Kevin Costner, Jeanne Triplehorn, Dennis Hopper, Tina Majorino, Rick Ives. So, a decent cast. This movie could have been better.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like what was his other one? Well, I'm on Kevin Costner. You're gonna probably hate me when I say this. Dances with Wolves.
You didn't like it?
It was weird. I think that when I watched it at the time, I was only like maybe 7 or 8, so maybe I didn't really understand the premise of it.
Best picture, best actor, best director, best screenplay. It swept the Oscars. that
So it's a
year.
movie, now that I'm 36 and would understand what's going on, I should go back and watch that.
Yeah.
What movie are we talking about? We're just flipping around, Jack. We're talking cult classics and just as a general, but like we're just talking like Kevin Costner, a whole bunch of different stuff, like all over the place, honestly.
Buffalo.
What movie I did like Kevin Costner in? Well, two actually, back in the day. The Bodyguard
Yes.
and The Perfect World.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever
How about
watched.
Bull Durham?
Bull Durham was good, but yeah. I'm just naming a couple that I remember like
Yeah.
I could talk about.
Yeah. And I'm really becoming a fan of Draft Day.
I did. I told you I bought that movie.
I went back and watched it again last week, and I enjoyed it,
Oh yeah, definitely a good one.
especially leading up into the draft coming up. I just wanted to refresh my memory.
What, that you want all your picks back in David Putney?
Yep.
You motherfucker.
I'm telling you, we're drafting David Putney in the 6th round this year.
If we do, I will come on here and tell you that you were right.
He's a special teamer. He's got good speed.
How about 3,000 Miles of Graceland? Did you like that Kevin Costner movie?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad.
Okay, what else do we have?
Not my favorite, but
Message in a Bottle, Tin Cup.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah, JFK.
Definitely.
I actually almost bought that one the other day.
JFK.
They had that at the thrift store.
That's a long one.
Yeah. I think that's probably
That runs like 3.5 hours.
But they said it's one of the more in-depth movies that Oliver Stone ever did.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
the president.
But Oliver Stone definitely had a lot of conspiracy theories about what happened. He's very much a grassy knoll guy.
Hey, this says he was in the movie Night Shift. He's Frat Boy #1. Now I gotta go back and watch that movie.
In Night Shift?
Yeah,
Really? Wow.
Frat Boy #1.
Okay.
Does this have a picture? What he looks like?
I did not know that. Here's one for you.
I'm listening.
Kevin Costner was the corpse in The Big Chill. They gathered for the funeral.
Okay.
The body in the casket was Kevin Costner.
Miller.
Yes. I'll bet you didn't know that one.
I didn't. But I'm looking at it now. His character's name was Alex.
Yep. That was who they were at the funeral for.
Well, I'll be goddamned. That's why his name's the last one in the credits.
Yep. Yeah, he didn't have any lines. He was dead.
Tom Berenger, Glenn Close, Jeff Goldblum, William Hurt, Kevin Kline.
Yeah, great cast. Kevin Kline. There's an actor there, man.
All right.
I love me some Kevin Kline movies.
And let me guess, the #1 on that list is Wild Wild West.
It's right up there. It's right up there. I admit it. It's a horrible, horrible movie, and I loved every minute of it. Kenneth Branagh as Dr. Lovelace was unbelievable. This guy is a Shakespearean best actor kind of actor, and he's one best actor. And he was the main villain in Wild Wild West. And that character was outstanding.
Oh, I will agree with you on that. That Loveless was an awesome character.
Yes. That was the only good writing in that whole movie. But Kevin Kline is Kevin Kline, you know. Kevin Kline in Fish Called Wanda. Absolutely tremendous. Don't call me stupid. He was Jamie Lee Curtis's lover, who was masquerading as her brother. And you also had John Cleese and Michael Palin from Monty Python in there as well.
Okay.
Fish Called Wanda. Recommend.
Okay, came out in 1988, and he plays a character named Otto.
Otto, yes.
Big Show, we already covered that one with him. Trying to think what else he was in. I said Wild Wild West. Soap Dish.
Dave was a good one too, where he portrayed a double for the president of the United States. And actually, the president became ill, and he bore a resemblance to him, and they recruited him to stand in as the president while the president was incapacitated, because they didn't want to tell the American people that he was terminally on life support.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to check that one out. Chaplin?
Yes.
Is that the Charlie Chaplin story?
With Robert Downey Jr. as Charlie Chaplin, yes.
Wow. That sounds like an interesting one.
Yes.
In and Out. A Midsummer's Night Dream. Road to El Dorado. Orange. Oh, wow. He's actually Marcus Skinner in Orange. That is right. Orange County. I don't know if you ever watched that one or not.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, that has Jack Black. Who the hell is else?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know the one you're talking about. I don't really know a lot about it, but I do recall the Jack Black movie.
Okay, well, Colin Hanks, Jack Black, and Colin Hanks' character is trying to get into Stanford, and because he wants to be meet his famous inspirational writer Marcus Skinner, who teaches at that university. I just found out that Kevin Kline plays Marcus Skinner in that movie. You never really see his face, so he doesn't get a credited role, but very interesting. The things you find on the internet.
Yes, that darn internet.
It's the devil. Let me try to get to this little list. Now we jumped around a little bit.
Yeah. As we usually do.
Yeah, we're absolutely right, as we normally do. 112, Ghost World.
Don't know anything about it.
Steve Buscemi.
Okay. Well, I like Steve Buscemi. Only because I like Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Adam Sandler's actually in Philly tonight.
Yes, he is. Yep. And it's funny that they just did a tribute or something to Adam Sandler where they gave him some kind of comedy award. And Buscemi was one of the speakers. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, Adam, he says, you're filming in Massachusetts or here or there, let's call up the Bush, let's get him in, but when you're making movies in Hawaii and in the South Pacific, I don't fear the phone ringing.
Okay. But yeah, Steve Buscemi's one of the funny ones.
Ooh, peanut butter and gumball. Nice.
Mr. Deeds.
Yes. Good call.
I have seen that one, thank you.
Yes, good job.
Probably one of the more bizarre Adam Sandler movies, I won't lie, but still good.
Only if I get to change your socks.
You're very sneaky.
Yes. Sneaky, sir.
That's the problem with some of Adam Sandler's movies. They're stupid, but they're funny and they're so quotable.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I mean, and like I said before, no matter what Adam Sandler movie you watch, he's hooked up with a different chick in almost every one.
Oh, yeah, sure he is.
More power to him.
Hey.
I don't know what else to say about it, but but it says a ghost world with only the plan of moving in together after high school. Two unusual, devious friends seek direction in life. As a mirror gag, they respond to a man's newspaper ad for a date, only to find it will greatly complicate their lives.
Ooh. Okay.
And like I said,
sounds very
high schoolish.
Yeah. Yep.
Steve Buscemi is so a British Scarlett Johansson and Brad Renfro.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson, huh? Nice.
I mean, it got a 7.3.
Hey, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
Number 113, Excalibur.
Yes.
I don't know.
Camelot and the Round Table. The only star that I know that was in that was Helen Mirren.
Yep,
I
she's
think
on
was the Queen.
She's on the list.
Yeah, I think that was the most notable person that I remember in that.
Nigel Terry, Nicholas Clay, Cherry Lunhai.
Yeah. I don't recall many stars in it, but I remember enjoying it though. I love the Knights of the Round Table kind of stories.
Yeah, I mean, they're hit or miss. I mean, Cable Guy, you have Knights of the Round Table at the medieval times.
Yeah, this is true.
Now you want to talk about a funny scene, but
Yep.
After that one, number 114, you have the original Planet of the Apes from 1968.
Oh boy, Charlton Heston, Roddy McDowall as Cornelius. Oh no, Dr. Cornelius was a different character. He was what was his name? Oh my god. No, Dr. Zaius. Cornelius was Roddy McDowall's name.
Okay.
And then Kim Darby? Kim something?
Kim Hunter.
Kim Hunter, right. Yep. Yeah, Kim Hunter was Cornelius's mate. But those damn dirty apes. That spawned a whole series of Planet of the Apes movies, and then, more recently, what, 3 or 4 on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a series that they keep just doing
with Mark Wahlberg.
Good old Marky. Always trying to just make money some way or another.
Hey.
Number 115. One of the most iconic horror movies of all time. 1960 Psycho.
Oh boy. Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
Didn't know that, but
with Tony Curtis was her father.
Interesting.
Yep.
So that's where she gets all her acting credentials from.
Yes, she was born of actors.
And it makes perfect sense now.
Mm-hmm.
And of horror movies apparently too.
And apparently she's more regular now that she takes fiber. She's making them old lady commercials.
I was gonna say, is that supposed to be a joke or is that something true?
No, she makes commercials for stuff that makes people go to the bathroom.
Oh, maybe I should give her a call then.
I could go for a good dump right about now.
But Psycho has that iconic shower scene that, I guess, institutionalized horror movies.
Yeah, I mean, you had to, the symbolism and the scene itself has been in part of pretty much any film class that's ever been taught. I did have a couple of film classes at the University of Miami, and that was a scene that definitely was part of one day's assignment, was just kind of breaking down Psycho and the symbolism and the some of the tactics that Hitchcock used.
I mean, and then what? 18 years later, when the original Halloween comes out, instead of a shower, you have him trying to get in a closet.
Yeah. Well, and then you had a takeoff of the scene in Mel Brooks' High Anxiety, where Mel's in the shower and he had bugged a bellhop for a copy of the paper, and then Mel's in the shower and you see the shadow behind the shower curtain, and then the same thing with the shower curtain ripping down and stuff, and him jumping in the shower, this bellhop saying, "Here's your paper, here's your paper, here's your paper," and then the ink rolling down the drain like the blood did in Psycho.
Yeah.
But Psycho being black and white, you really didn't, you knew that it was blood, but it really didn't appear to be blood, because in order back then to get through the rating system, they couldn't show it as regular blood.
Then why the hell did they get away with showing the original Blob? You want to talk about something creepy to watch late at night?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Uncle Ted. I mean, anytime I spent the weekends at my aunt and uncle's house, my uncle was always recording something, and it was probably about 2 or 3 o'clock one night, and I'm trying to fall asleep, and I look up, and all I see is this giant blob on the screen eating people. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Hi, Andrea.
Andrea,
how you doing?
Building. Good evening, Miss Andrea. Hope you are feeling better.
You're very welcome. That particular method was employed again, actually by Quentin Tarantino in Kill Bill Volume 2, where there was a scene that they were not going to get an R rating. They were definitely getting NC-17 for that one battle scene in Kill Bill 2, where she goes into the temple and just starts lobbing people's heads off and stuff. And they intentionally switched from color to black and white for that scene, because the amount of blood in that scene would have nailed them with an NC-17.
Interesting. But Andrew, we hope you feel better very, very soon.
Yes, absolutely. Feel better.
Number 116. We have 1975's Rollerball.
Oh. Let me first start off by saying the remake was trash, because the original Rollerball, James Caan, was off the hook. Where else can you get roller skating, sports, and motorcycles all wrapped up into one?
I'm going to have to think about this one.
It was a game where there was a goal at each end, and there was a metal ball that gets released out onto the court, and then one team scoops it up, and it's kind of like roller derby, only there's motorcycles on the track as well, which you can grab onto to gain speed to when you're going around towards the other team's goal in a circular track.
Interesting.
And all the teams represented corporations, and it was very futuristic in that regard. It was kind of a story about corporations and corporation greed, and how they used rollerball as a tool to dominate the world, pretty much, from a business perspective.
I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, it's definitely a great movie back then, and that's a 70s movie.
75.
Yeah.
It says action, sci-fi, and sport. Is how you have.
Yep.
We had talked about sci-fi before the show. You can add that one to the sci-fi list.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, this next one, I am very disappointed to see this as low as it is on this list. Okay?
Yeah.
And please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you're looking at the list or not yourself.
I am.
How is 117 the Shawshank Redemption? This should be easily, in my opinion, top 10.
But how is it a cult classic, though? I mean, it was an Academy Award winner. How could, I find it hard to believe that on this list that there are Academy Award winning movies that are on a cult classic list?
I mean, I don't know, 'cause I guess that they didn't really start off as well, but then no, damn.
But if you pulled up a drama list and said the top 100 dramas, I'll bet you Shawshank's in the top 10.
Let's see. I can see.
I would venture to guess that it could be.
Top 10 drama movies. I'll pull up another list. Top 10 drama movies, IMDb. Top 50 drama movies. Here we go.
Okay.
It is not in the top 10.
Okay.
Not in the top 20.
Surprising.
Not top 30. Number 31.
31? Wow.
Out of the top 50 drama movies.
But it's not 117. Now, see, the next one on the list would definitely qualify as cult classic. Dazed and Confused.
I love this movie.
You could talk on this one. I know you can.
Yeah, you. I mean, we're just right. I mean, you have degenerate high school kids. You get see the whole hazing aspect back in the 70s. How they used to juniors always welcome the incoming freshmen with the paddles, and then you always had the beer buses in the woods. I mean, Aerosmith is introduced in this movie, so I mean, awesome movie. And he's not even on the list, but you have a very young Ben Affleck in this movie.
Yeah, and also the origin of all right.
All right. Yeah.
And Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element, who played Lilu in The Fifth Element, and also was in it wasn't Tomb Raider. What was the other? Resident Evil.
Okay.
Mila Jovovich.
And you know what else is known for this movie that it can get you in a lot of trouble nowadays? You know the thing about those high school girls? They stay the same age.
Yeah. Do you know who else was in this movie? And I guarantee you don't know this one. This is a twisted little piece.
Jason Lee?
Adam Goldberg.
Adam Goldberg.
As in the creator of the Goldbergs TV series. The one who the kid is based on. It's a story about his family, the Goldbergs.
Okay.
Adam Goldberg was in Dazed and Confused.
Mike Newhouse. Why am I drawing a blank? Who the hell? Mike Newhouse. Why am I drawing a blank? Who? Mike Newhouse.
I don't remember the character. I just know he was in it.
Wait a minute. Oh, Mike. Okay, Mike Newhouse is Tony's best friend.
Okay.
The one with like the like curly brownish hair. Is Anthony Rapp, Adam Goldberg, and the chick. Who was the chick's name? The one that I think it's the one you were just talking about.
Michelle.
Is it Michelle?
Michelle Burrows.
Nope, not her then.
Simone Carr.
No, Cynthia Dunn, I think. Marissa Ribisi. Ribisi. So her character,
Okay.
Adam Goldberg and Anthony Rapp, they're like the three best friends.
Okay.
Adam Goldberg is in that group. Now I know who it is.
Gotcha.
And you have a very young Joey Lauren Adams in this movie too.
Okay.
She plays Simone in that. And like I said, Ben Affleck's not listed, but he has a character in this. We got Gary in the chat. Good evening, Gary. Nice to see you.
Hey, Gary.
I mean, but I love this movie. You're gonna laugh at me for saying this.
Okay.
Okay. For 8 straight years on 420, I always watched this movie. I never smoked while I watched it. But April 20th always rolls around, which oddly enough is next Thursday.
Yeah.
That's what movie I will be watching.
There you go.
That's how you celebrate that day, by watching this movie. It is absolutely classic.
Nice.
Now, would you put this movie higher, or would you keep it the same?
It could have been a little higher, I think. I wouldn't have been disturbed if it was.
There we go. Really? Yes, Gary, really. We're talking cult classics tonight. I am naming the movies, so if you have seen any of them, feel free to chime in the conversation. There's some movies I've seen that Ron hasn't seen, but most of the time it's the other way around. Ron's seen the movies and I haven't, so. Alright, number 119, The Ninth Configuration. Never heard of it.
That's about a Marine who goes to run a mental institution or something like that. Stacy Keach is in it, I believe.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Stacy Keach, Scott Wilson.
I don't remember a lot about it. I remember he was a Marine and he was hired to run an insane asylum. That's all I got.
Interesting. 1980s, though. A couple years back.
Yeah, it's going back a ways. Definitely.
Number 120, The Man Who Wasn't There.
That's the Coen brothers, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Joe Coen?
Joel Coen and Ethan Coen, I think is his brother's name.
Okay.
They've done a lot of films, like Miller's Crossing and Barton Fink, and a great movie called The Lady Killers. Now, if you haven't seen that one, The Lady Killers was actually was remade, and the remake stars Tom Hanks. And if you want to just mindless, fun movie, The Lady Killers, definitely. Also, the Coens did Raising Arizona, and some other like very well known dramatic movies. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Heard of that. I think I've seen some of the Lady Killers. I haven't watched the whole thing.
Lady Killers was a great movie.
I'll add that to my list. I started to watch Trey's recommendation from a couple weeks ago. I started watching it and I fell asleep, so I gotta go back and watch it.
Gotcha. Pootie Tang.
And it was a very bizarre movie from what I watched.
You were planning a double feature that night too. You were doing Pootie Tang and then something else too.
Yeah, I forget.
Off the list.
But, The Jerk.
Yes, The Jerk, right.
I will get to these movies, I promise. I mean, I'm only human, okay?
There's only so many hours in a day, man.
It really is. But I guess I should start taping my eyelids open so I can stay up all night and watch movies.
Yeah, there you go.
Then when I show up working next day, why are you so tired? Huh?
Lots of movies.
Doing homework.
I'm doing my homework. Oh.
Alright, number 120. That sounded pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Number 121, The Hunger.
Oh, yeah. Vampire movie. David Bowie. Catherine Deneuve.
Catherine Deneuve, David Bowie, Susan Sarandon, Clifty Young.
Johnny Five.
Yeah.
Johnny Five is alive.
One of my favorite movies going on.
Input.
Yeah, I'm starting to say that in my head again. Need input. Need input.
Need more input.
Such a funny movie. Second one was horrible, but the original was the way to go.
Yes, definitely. Ali Sheedy and Steve Guttenberg.
Yes.
Definitely.
Jack says he loves David Bowie. Well, did you know David Bowie was an actor, Jack?
Well, the two that he was most famous for was probably this one. Well, besides Labyrinth, would have been this one and another one which was called The Man Who Fell from Earth.
The Man Who Fell from Earth. Why does that sound familiar? Again, you say all these titles and I...
Was David Bowie was an alien.
Okay.
Which may or may not be true.
Yeah, that is true.
But Labyrinth was definitely his best. No doubt. Or actually playing himself in Zoolander.
Yeah. What, with Ben Stiller on him?
Yeah. He refereed the walk-off in the warehouse in Zoolander.
Good to know. So after Hunger, we had 1967, The Graduate.
Yes, another Academy Award winner. Dustin Hoffman. Mrs. Robinson. Are you trying to seduce me?
Is that where that song comes from?
Yes, it is, actually.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yep. Actually, Art Garfunkel's in the movie.
Interesting. I mean, 1967, that's a little before my time, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no, the Graduate, definitely a classic film. A younger Dustin Hoffman. Early in his career.
Should I add that to my list?
Yeah, I would. Definitely.
Is it black and white or is it colored?
It's color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's color.
Just making sure. Because black and white movies can be a little bit hard to follow sometimes.
Yeah. No, it's definitely color.
Alright. After that, you had 1966, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
Sorry.
Great Western. I mean, the Clint Westerns were all, they pretty much followed a similar formula. But, they had a successful, run with that. I mean, they made a bunch of, Josie Wales and High Plains Drifter and, movies like that. Clint, that was his thing.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Dirty Harry's probably the most one I could recognize.
Yeah.
Out of his whole list. So, after that one, you have Rosemary's Baby.
Mia Farrow. Kind of a horror, kind of early horror / suspense thriller kind of, kind of deal. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a big fan of it, but it was important for its time. Let me put it that way.
Okay. After that one, I'm gonna get made fun of for saying this one out loud. The Hudsuckers Proxy.
Yes. Tim Robbins, Paul Newman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Charles Durning was in that also, and John Mahoney from Frasier, who played the dad in Frasier.
Okay.
Was in it also.
That just sounds like a weird, bizarre movie just based off the title.
Yeah. It was about a business graduate that's installed as president of a manufacturing company as part of a stock scam.
good to know. PG's not that bad, right?
No, not bad at all.
Jack with some movie
There you
music
go.
knowledge.
Little Simon and Garfunkel trivia. Good job.
Well, it's just funny how Miss Robinson was released in 1968, and then The Graduate came out in '67. So yeah, right around the
Yeah.
same time.
Yep.
That
Well,
makes
it
sense.
was written. It was written for the movie, and then they released it as a single after.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I'm learning something from you, and I'm learning something from Jack.
Yep.
Number 126, Jackie Brown,
Jackie Brown.
1997.
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino. Yeah, it was kind of his take on the like black themed exploitation movies of the early 70s. It was definitely an homage to those films. Let's put it that way. As was Pulp Fiction, for that matter. But this was kind of the precursor to Pulp Fiction. When he wrote this, some of the elements from Jackie Brown kind of repeated themselves in Pulp Fiction.
Well, they came out right around the same time period, right?
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, Pam Grier, Bridget Fonda, Michael Keaton, Robert De Niro. A lot of stars. And a young Chris Tucker also.
Chris Tucker.
Yep. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Who kicked me? You kicked me?
I would say it's probably one of his most well-known quotes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know why, but not really kind of anymore, but back in the day, I kind of always had Chris Tucker and Martin Lawrence kind of confused.
Yeah. Jackie Brown came out in 1997, actually.
I put that in the comments.
Yeah, okay. There you go. I wasn't looking at your answer there. Sorry.
It's all good. Alright, after Jackie Brown, we have Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs. Yeah, I know that it's Dustin, but I don't know that I really remember much about the movie.
Okay, came out in 1971.
Yeah, it's going back. It's one of his very early ones.
Fair enough. I think didn't they Straw Dogs? They have a remake of this recently, right? Back in the early 2000s.
Not sure. Possibly.
I have to look that one up. I think there's a remake for it. After that one, we had Adaptation.
Adaptation.
With Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, Chris.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Lawrence Greenwood becomes desperate as he tries and fails to adapt the Orchard Thief by Susan Orlean for the screen. Sounds kind of weird.
Yeah. It's not one of Meryl's top works by any stretch of the imagination, even though she was probably still nominated anyway, just because the in thing to do is nominate her every year
and never let her win. Number 129, Requiem for a Dream. Requiem, I think it's
Requiem.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
Don't know a lot about it.
All right.
Are we starting to hit that spot where we're going to hit all these obscure ones?
Yeah, maybe. Like 130, I'm just going to skip.
Yeah.
Big Fish, I never heard of. Inglourious Bastards. I mean, if we had certain people in the chat, they could probably really talk about that one all night.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino film too.
Yep.
They made a couple sequels of that too.
I know at least one.
I don't know. I think it might have been just that one, maybe two.
It ran over 2.5 hours too. It was a long movie.
True.
A lot of Nazis.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about those movies. So, if you're just popping in, we're talking about some cult classic movies. Feel free to jump in the conversation. If you know any of the movies that we have mentioned, feel free. We'd like to interact with our chatters, so let us know if you have heard any of them. Number 133, Dead Snow, 2009.
No idea.
Alright, let's get that one. Supergirl. Looks like
Supergirl. Wow.
That looks like a spoof to Superman's.
It was an attempt to kind of, work off of the popularity of the Superman movies. Was actually Helen Slater who played Supergirl, I believe. And I know Faye Dunaway and Peter O'Toole were in it. Mia Farrow, Brenda Vaccaro. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
You seem like impressed.
Yeah, I was thinking back to it and I didn't remember a lot about it. Now that I'm seeing the list, I'm like, maybe you should go back and look at that again.
Fair enough.
Supergirl.
Just like they made that. I'm not going to bring it up. Never mind.
What? Oh, now you're getting shy? What's up?
No, I mean, I don't want to scare people away, but they made a spin-off parody called Spider Babe.
Okay. Enough said. We got you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's just me hanging out in chat, but.
Yeah.
Number 135, The Stuff. Never heard of it.
It had, this is going back. This was horrible. A delicious, mysterious goo that oozes from the earth is marketed as the newest dessert sensation. But the tasty treat turns people into zombies.
Heard that one before.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to bother getting to that one. Nightbreed. I never heard of that one.
Yeah. The next one. Oh, here we go.
The original Fright Night.
The original Fright Night. Chris Sarandon, Roddy McDowall. Roddy McDowall is a television host a la like Dr. Shock kind of guy, like a local celebrity kind of guy. And it's a vampire movie. Chris Sarandon moves into this big house, and it turns out that he's like a vampire, and he's recruiting, and he's like, building an army pretty much. When I used to work at Blockbuster, somebody would ask me to recommend me a horror movie that's not super gory, but it's scary and it has a good story. And this is one of the ones I would recommend.
Oh, is that definitely a great one. And then...
Because it's PG.
Yeah, and then about 20, 25 years later, they actually remade it with Colin Farrell, Ashton Yuden. Yeah, they remade it. It's basically the same premise as the original. It's just more modernized.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. I like the original.
You didn't like the remake, huh?
Nah. I have certain benchmarks when it comes to remakes. Believe me, I'm a movie guy. Okay, yeah. That's the best I can say. I'm a movie guy. And I have certain benchmarks that you have to hit. If you're going to remake a classic movie, I just have in my head certain things you got to hit. You got to hit certain things, and you have to not hit certain things in order for me to say, yeah, that was a good remake. Yeah. And Fright Night didn't do it for me.
Okay.
Even though the acting was good, the effects were better. Yeah, that's true. But there's a special place for the original in my head, and that's pretty much what I'm going with, and I'm sticking to it.
Fair enough. I know this movie's not next on the list, but there's another movie that kind of, I wouldn't say reminds me of Fright Night, but it came out around the same-ish time period, a couple years later. Have you ever watched The People Under the Stairs?
Wow, I haven't seen that in a long, long time. I might have watched it once, but horror was not my favorite genre.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. So a lot of times when people talk about horror movies, I'm like, yeah, I might have like caught a peek at it, but I never really like paid super close attention to most horror movies. There are some that were just transcended horror, and they were just classics, like
Gotcha.
The Exorcist and Halloween and
Yeah, that makes sense.
ones like that. But if you'd say, "Hey, did you watch Microwave Massacre?" Why, yes, I did, but you know,
And that didn't stick in your head.
but it's not. Don't ask me to recite who was in it and what the plot was about because I can't.
Yeah. Well, you were on the show when we did Never Have I Ever Live, and we had my friend Shannon Papa, and I did ruin the movie screen for her, and to this day she will not let me live it down.
Yeah,
So, I mean, horror is not everybody's cup of tea, I get it. I mean, but if you're a movie buff, movie lover, you'll watch it if it's on, but it's not one that always sticks in your head, so I get it. Number 138, Phantasm. Never heard of it.
Phantasm.
Phantasm, sorry.
Yeah, it's not a lot of name actors in this. It did have to do with a guy named the Tall Man who had this metal ball, and they could throw this metal ball, and it like spikes would come out of it and like stick somebody in the skull. That like patrolled the halls of this place where he was.
That sounds kind of creepy.
That's what I remember about Phantasm was the silver metal ball with the blades coming out of it.
So if I ever show up
And
on the
that
show,
spawned, actually, there were probably 3 or 4 of them made.
really?
Yeah. I'm going to say maybe 4. Definitely 3. Because I think I saw the 3rd one. I might not have, there might have been a 4th one that was direct to video that I might not have seen.
So you're telling me if I ever pop up on your show and have something sticking out of my head, you know where it came from?
I know where it came from. The Tall Man's been in your house.
Great. Locking all my doors, locking all my doors and my windows going forward.
As we speak.
Let me hit the button on my phone. There we go. Number 139, Acura. Never heard of it. Looks like a Japan movie.
Yeah, it's Akira.
Shoot me if you want. Number 140, Goodfellas. I have never watched this movie all the way through.
What? John. Goodfellas is a classic.
It is. Like I said, okay. In my defense, okay, you want to talk about a double feature night? I try to watch Casino, then put Goodfellas on afterwards.
Okay, well, that's a long marathon there. That is a very long marathon. Because Casino's probably about 3.5 hours.
Yes, and then I try to watch Goodfellas right after.
Yeah, no, can't do that.
So I do plan on going back and rewatching the whole thing.
Okay.
Because just the cast is mind blowing.
Yes. Yeah, great cast.
De Niro, Liotta, Pesci, Becco.
Yep.
I mean, you can just go on and on.
Yep.
And then you might as well throw your movie into the mix, the core that follows the same suit as the Casino and all that, like we always talked about a couple weeks in a row.
True. Yep.
So this is definitely on one of my must go back and rewatch whole thing list.
There you go.
And I will. I won't watch anything in front of it this time.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because I definitely want to watch it. Because it actually came out 1990, and then Robert De Niro. I don't know if you probably seen it. Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale, yes.
I didn't know what it was at first. I just said, oh, let me just, had just started, so I sat down, put it on. I watched the whole thing for its entirety. I was like, wow, that was actually a very good story. And Robert De Niro was in that one. Like, not a lot of people recognize that one as a Robert De Niro type movie.
No. Nope. That's true.
But it was a very good one. Number 141, Shogun Assassin. Never heard of it. Maniac. Another horror. Street Trash. Return to Oz.
Return to Oz was a weird one. It's pretty much a story that's related to Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, but it's kind of twisted. Dorothy's like in a mental institution or something.
That just sounded weird.
And yeah, it's there were some pretty interesting special effects and stuff, which was probably what it would be known for more than anything. Fairuza Balk is the star, who was Vicky Valancourt in Waterboy.
Wow, she must be young in that.
She was very young in that. Yep.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I mean,
I don't think I would put it on and watch it though.
Nah, I don't know that I would go back and watch it. Now, 145, I would go back and watch.
Highlander, huh?
Highlander, Christopher Lambert.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, yes.
The great
Sean Connery.
Yes.
Yes. Great movie, great story. Spawned a TV series. Spawned a couple sequels.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing when a movie can produce and get something spun off after of it.
Yeah. Definitely a good one, though.
After that one, we have my most known Clint Eastwood movie, Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky, punk.
Feeling lucky, punk? Make my day.
The Scorpion Killer. Outland number is 147. Another Sean Connery movie.
Right. Set on the moon of Jupiter. One of the moons of Jupiter.
Number 148.
Not Connery's greatest work, but 148's a movie that John won't watch.
I have watched it and it gives me nightmares, and it still does.
Yes. Alien, the original Alien.
And people laugh at me. No one would take me serious when I tell them I hate this movie.
Ripley.
Yes.
And what's his name? What's the guy that had the thing come out of his stomach? What's his name? John Hurt?
Sounds familiar. What's his
I think it's
name?
John Hurt. Huh?
It's John Hurt's in the movie, yes.
Yeah, John Hurt. Yeah, definitely.
King.
And Bill Paxton, actually, who was in Weird Science. And we're dead, man. We're going to die, man. We're toast, man.
Like I said, I have watched this. It just one of the few movies that I've watched in my life that makes my stomach flip. I don't know why.
Yeah, he was Chet in Weird Science.
Yep. I actually just bought that the other day.
Nice.
I used to have it, and like I said, 2018 I sold a bunch of my movies, but I recently just found it again, so I bought it.
Awesome.
But my friends don't take me serious when I say I hate the movie Alien, so they decided they wanted to watch it one night. Mind you, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I told them I don't want to watch it, so they put it on anyway, thinking I was being funny.
Yeah.
I literally got up, left, and drove home. 2 hours, 45 minutes later, I get a message from my friend asking where I went. So I replied back, I told you, I don't like that movie. I went home. Have a good night. They wrote back, we thought you were joking. We're sorry. We would have put it on.
Yeah.
Well, I said plain as day, I hate that movie.
It was pretty simple.
Yep. Now, number 149, a very good movie that I can watch over and over. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
Yes.
10, if not 20 times better than the remake.
Absolutely. Yeah, Arnold was great in that. That's what making me come back to Mars.
Yeah, get your
Sharon Stone kicks his ass.
And a lot of people, the only thing people remember about this movie is to go with the four breast.
No, I remember is when he's in the airport and the head malfunctions and he throws it at a guard and the thing starts talking. It says, "Get ready for a big surprise." And then it blows up. That's the scene I always remember.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that and Sharon Stone kicking Arnold's ass.
Yeah. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Michael Ironstein, too. Don't forget about him.
Yes, yes. Great
Very,
character, who was also in Highlander.
Yeah. And Free Willy.
And Free Willy, yes.
But
Yes.
it's just an awesome movie about trying to enjoy a vacation that turns into be a real life thing. And then I don't know what they were thinking about when they made the remake of it, but they shouldn't have.
Yeah, yeah.
But the original, by far, at the time period, probably easily a top 10 movie out of 1990. I mean, I'm just being biased probably when I say that, but
Maybe a little.
it's a great movie though.
Yeah, yeah.
And instead of saying Johnny Five, you have Johnny Cab in this movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, number 150, Creep Show.
Creep Show, yes. Directed by George Romero, written by Stephen King.
Stephen King, huh?
Yes. Yeah, it was a series of shorts. It was like 3 or 4, I think it was 4 different stories that were interconnected in Creep Show, where it was kind of like the old show that was on HBO, the Tales from the Dark Side.
Okay.
It was kind of like that. They were short, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then on to the next story. And totally unrelated stories. With in between, there was a like a puppet actor, that kind of transitioned from one story to another. Kind of like the Crypt Keeper.
From Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of weird movies back in the 80s that were inspired by Stephen King. That's pretty interesting.
There were 5? Yeah, I thought there was 4, but it could have been 5.
But,
Leslie Nielsen, Hal Holbrook, Adrienne Barbeau, E.G. Marshall. Leslie Nielsen was interesting. And Ted Danson's in it, too. A young Ted Danson.
no, I know this wasn't Stephen King, but I don't know if you ever heard of the movie called Tourist Trap.
Tourist Trap. Not ringing a bell.
Want to watch a very twisted, bizarre movie? Check that one out.
Nice. Well, actually, when you mentioned, we just talked about Arnold. Arnold's movie Running Man, which was a great movie, was actually based on a Stephen King short story. As was Stand By Me.
Those are true, absolutely. And then the movie It comes from a short story called Dewey. No. Dewey? No. What's the name of the town? Dewey, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's a short story that he wrote based off that turned into the movie It as well.
Oh, okay. So as tradition, we have to go to 151. We always have to go one beyond.
Okay. And it's all yours.
Galaxy Quest. I love this movie. I so wish they had done a sequel to this movie. Um, Alan Rickman, Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver. Um, Such a great cast, such a great story. The special effects were amusing. Um, just excellent, excellent movie. I loved it, and another one that I could just watch over and over again.
I mean, you definitely did have a cast there. Justin Long, Sam Lloyd.
And it was very much a kind of a jab at the Star Trek conventions and all that kind of stuff. They took some pretty serious jabs at those kind of people.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's what the popular thing was back then.
Yeah. I mean, Shatner himself did it on Saturday Night Live.
True.
He caught a lot of flack for that too. That's, he was, it was portraying himself at a Star Trek convention. And he's like, you people need to get a life. What, do you live in your mom's basement? It was pretty funny.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he did catch a lot of flack for it. But Galaxy Quest is a great movie, though.
Again, I've seen bits and pieces of it. So probably won't have to go back and watch it in its entirety.
Yeah.
But I have.
They even made fun of the Star Trek. The guy in the red shirt is the one that's going to get killed. You know that rule from you're not a Star Trek fan.
I watched some Star Trek. I mean, I wouldn't say I watched it.
Well, in the original series, if you had a red shirt on, you were expendable. And they actually poke fun at that during Galaxy Quest. So
fair enough. Good thing I'm
wearing a red shirt, man. I'm dead. I'm just dead. I don't even have a name tag. I don't have a name. So they called him Guy. That was what the crew called him. They said, "You're a guy. You're Guy." Says, "Oh, I have a name now. Maybe I won't die." Guy.
Yeah. Jack wants to know, have we seen the movie St. Elmo's Fire?
Absolutely. Classic. That's with the quote-unquote Brat Pack back in the day, who were making all kinds of movies together. You got your Andrew McCarthy and your Ali Sheedy and your Judd Nelson and your Breakfast Club people are all in a bunch of them are in St. Elmo's Fire. And a great theme song too.
Oh, absolutely. The song still hits to this day. I'll listen to the song all day.
Yep.
So, is there any other movies that you would like to talk about tonight, sir?
What's out in the theaters right now? Super Mario.
Super Mario's out.
Which set a record for the largest opening ever for an animated film and also for a video game themed film.
Yes.
Opened up at about 277 million US in the first weekend.
And it's now reached 500 million in the global box office.
Yep. And as Chris Pratt would say, that's a lot of money. Woohoo!
That was pretty good.
That's me, Mario.
Another one you have out right now is The Pope's Exorcist with Russell Crowe.
That looks freaky. If I liked horror movies, I would probably watch that.
That opened actually tonight, believe it or not.
Yeah, that looks really good. On a side note, I do have one thing. It's not a movie. However, it's a show that's currently streaming on Paramount Plus called Picard, which is final season 3. And this past week's episode blew me away. I'm a huge Next Generation fan,
Okay.
and this limited series, which is now in its third season, has totally reinvigorated my love for the show. And the plot twist this past week just, and I mean, I can usually see something coming. I've seen enough that I kind of know where something's going before it goes there.
Mm.
I did not see this coming. And it was,
Wow.
and there's still one more episode. And actually, in several cities, unfortunately not in Philadelphia, but in several cities, they're screening the final 2 episodes in IMAX. So you could go to an IMAX theater and watch the last 2 episodes of this series, which has got to be out of this world.
From the sounds of it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Renfield. Yes, that's the other one with Nick Cage. Yes. Looks comedy vampire movie.
Yep, that just came out today.
Nick Cage.
Mafia Mama.
The trailer looks hilarious for that.
Yeah, there's a couple movies that opened today, actually. Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Notorious, never heard of that. Mafia Mama. Suzman, never heard of that one.
Yeah, maybe I have to hit the drive-in or something.
Well, that's what my one friend Jolie is tonight. She's seeing Super Mario Brothers down in Delsey at the drive-in.
It's the last drive-in in New Jersey.
Yep.
And it's a great place. If you haven't been there, anybody who's watching and you've never experienced a drive-in movie, that's the last one in New Jersey. And they do a real good job. You have stereo simulcast where you can tune it into your FM radio. You don't have to hang a speaker in your window or anything like that. They have a concession stand. You can't bring your own food in unless you pay a food license, which I think runs, it may be this season, maybe $20. But
okay.
if you pay the license the $20, then you can bring in whatever food you want. But if you bring in food and you haven't bought a food license, they're going to kick you out.
True.
But to pay like $11 for 2 first-run movies, great value. And I mean, they play the movies the week they come out. I mean, Super Mario was there the first week.
Yep.
You know.
Have you seen Scream? I have not seen the new one.
My daughter did. She said she liked it.
Good to know. I mean, it's just funny because it's the 6th one in the franchise, okay?
Yeah.
And it follows a certain pattern as Jason. Because remember Jason, Leprechaun, later in the series, they always wind up in this same spot. I don't know what the hell it is in horror movies that wind up in Manhattan. Wow.
Yeah. Well, but the only difference in this one is Ghostface is Courtney Cox after her plastic surgery.
Well, thanks for ruining the movie.
No, I'm not saying that she's Ghostface. I'm just saying her face looks like a ghost.
I know, I'm being funny. So
I would never spoil a movie for anybody.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the movies that are coming out, and there's some. I mean, not so like May and June, though. Like, June 2nd, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. June 16th.
That's animated.
The Flash, June 16th.
And The Flash has Michael Keaton's Batman in it.
That's probably one of the few reasons I will want to watch that.
Yes, that is the reason I will go watch that, to see Michael Keaton in the Batman suit again. Absolutely.
And then a movie that me and Andrea had talked about a couple weeks ago when we were naming our movies of this year coming out, July 21st. Actually, I won't be able to see it opening weekend, which sucks, but Oppenheimer. It's a movie that Christopher Nolan directed it. It's about the bombings over in like Hiroshima and stuff. It's based off the start of World War II. I just can't imagine how these graphics are going to look.
Yeah. Wasn't Oppenheimer was the scientist who developed it, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
And then August 4th, Ninja Turtles have a new movie coming out, Mutant Mayhem, which has gotten really mixed reviews. Gran Turismo has a movie coming
No
out.
Megan Fox, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think she'd go back to it.
No, this is more
But
like animation.
she was a great April though.
She was. I will agree with that.
Yep.
No, like this has John Cena as Rocksteady, Jackie Chan plays Splinter, Ice Cube is in it, Post Malone.
Okay. So, John Cena, you said?
Yeah.
And he plays who?
He's the voice of Rocksteady.
Rocksteady? Okay.
Yeah.
The second WWE wrestler to be a voice of a villain in a Ninja Turtles movie.
That's your question, the first one.
Yes.
Undertaker?
Nope. Give you one more guess.
A villain in a movie.
In a Ninja Turtles movie.
Wasn't Randy Orton?
No, it was Sheamus.
Yes, Out of the Shadows.
Yes.
Oh, you're right. I feel like an idiot because I own that movie. That's why Michael Bay actually pulled out from making a third one because the second one just completely flopped.
Yeah, it did.
And it sucks because like the first one wasn't that bad. I mean, I didn't really like how the turtles looked, and I'm a huge Ninja Turtles
And
fan.
I think he played Rocksteady too. Is that the Rhino?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that's who Sheamus played too. That was when Sheamus had the mohawk in the WWE because he had it for the movie.
Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows cast. Yep, Sheamus is in it right there. Yep. Brian T. with Shredder. April O'Neil, Megan Fox, Will Arnett, Ronan. Stephen Arnell played Casey Jones. I mean, it had a great cast to it.
Yeah, yeah.
It just didn't do well.
And when you go back into some of the old Ninja Turtle stuff, where like Corey Feldman was the voice of a turtle.
Yeah. Very true. Jack says, look at the movie Shazam. Is that the one with that's the old one with Shaquille O'Neal, ain't it?
No, not that Shazam. He's talking about the Shazam, the Captain Marvel Shazam. With the before Captain Marvel turned into a woman.
So Shazam, the Fury of the Gods?
Yeah, that's the one that's out now. That's the second one. The original was decent.
2017?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. What am I thinking then with Shaquille O'Neal?
But there was a movie Shazam that had Shaquille O'Neal as a genie.
Yes.
Which was back in the 80s probably, or mid to late 80s, I'm going to say. If I had to right off the top of my head.
No, okay.
Was it after that? Was it in the 90s?
I think so. I'm going to look. Hold on.
Maybe 92?
Shaquille O'Neal. Well, find out in 1.2 seconds. Oh, it wasn't Shazam. It was Kazam.
Kazam. Okay. What year?
1996.
Okay. All right.
The same year as a movie that my sister made me watch over and over, An Indian in the Cupboard.
Okay. Yeah.
And so cheesy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only movie I really dug that had somebody that size was Night at the Museum, with Owen Wilson as the little cowboy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Plus, Robin Williams as Teddy Roosevelt. Can't go wrong.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Indian in the cupboard had Littlefoot as the Indian.
Yeah.
So
And then actually in one of the Night in Museum movies was uh what's his name? Rami Malek, who played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. He
okay,
was in one of the Night in Museum movies as the bad guy,
interesting.
as the young Egyptian king.
Young Egyptian King. So I think that one is
That would have been the first one,
the original one.
because the second one it was um,
Battle of the Smithsonian.
yeah, Smithsonian. It was uh, Simpson's voice.
That Lisa, whatever.
Uh,
I'll look it up. Hold on, give me 1 second.
no, wait a second. Why am I blanking?
I got it right here. Robin Williams, John Barthard, Bill Hader, Steve Coogan, Ricky Chavez, Muriel Peck, Rami Malek, Jack Cherry, Patrick Gallagher, Amy Adams.
No.
Okay.
God, why am I blanking on his name? He does like 20 voices on The Simpsons. Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria.
Yeah. Who
There
played,
it is.
yeah.
Hank Azaria, you're right. Oh, I know he's from something else too. What else?
Mystery Men. Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
He was in Mystery Men.
Okay.
He was the guy that threw the forks.
Yes. You read about that one, and he's also in a Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Love and Other Drugs.
He was a crazy forker.
I mean, but yeah, you could go on and on with people being in one thing and another movie. Like, he's also in Along Came Polly.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, Mystery Alaska.
Okay.
He played the crooked Charlie guy. That's another really good sports movie, too. What else is he in?
He did a great series on HBO where he was a sportscaster.
Sportscaster. Wait, Dr. Craig Huff?
No. Trying to think of what it was called.
Wait, Donovan. Yeah.
It's going back a couple years.
I don't know. I have to look that up.
I'm trying to think of what it was. What the heck was it?
Mad About You, Neil Tag, Spider-Man, If Not For You, Fireman's Head.
Herman's Head was great. That was a Fox series. And that was funny because it was basically about this guy and he's got all these different personalities living inside his head and how they all interact in his brain. And Hank Azaria was in it. Yeardley Smith, who's also the voice of Lisa Simpson, is in it as well. But Hank Azaria,
Yeah, I'm not seeing what one you're thinking about.
hang on, I got it. Because I won't be able to sleep tonight if I don't know what it is. I mean, it was great because he played this like foul mouthed sportscaster.
Brookmeyer,
Yes. Yes. That's what it
famed,
was.
a famed Major League Baseball announcer who suffers an embarrassing, very public meltdown live on air after discovering his beloved wife's serial infidelity, decides to reclaim his career and love life in a small town a decade later.
Yep. That's the one. That was a good series. It's hilarious.
Look, we're old in that series.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Buck's in this shit. You gonna make me watch something with Joe Buck?
Hey, look on the bright side. Aikman isn't in it.
That is true. I mean,
Usually, if you get Buck, you get the pair.
Fuck Joe Buck.
Could be worse. Could be Collingsworth.
Okay, now you're just trying to really annoy me with that comment. I should just, I'm just taking my headphones off. I'm not listening anymore.
Oh, what? Man-child? Man-child? Really?
Not man-child if I'm still on screen. So I took the headphones off. I couldn't hear you.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Did you know they're making another movie called The Little Mermaid that's coming out in May? Yes, and there's a lot of critics that are hating on it.
Yes,
big time.
They are.
They're trying to do a lot of post-production on that movie, and it's causing a lot of grief.
They are.
So,
the same way they did with Annie.
Yeah, I mean,
when you kind of start playing around with the iconic characters, that's where you run into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain movies that I could see that you have to freshen up over the years, but there's other movies that's like, why?
Jodie Benson will always be my Ariel.
And I think Morgan would probably agree with you if she's listening in chat. Morgan would probably 100,000 times agree with you. Because now they're talking like they have to go in and rechange some of the lyrics from some of the old songs. Because now that they look at it, it's very offensive.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a show. I think you were on that one show. I forget who it was, but we talked about a bunch of these Disney movies, but now how a bunch of them have come under fire over the last couple of years. Because now you have everyone trying to break the ship and make everything perfect for again.
Yeah. Well, the first one that ever got banned was Song of the South.
Yes.
With Tar Baby and Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox and Uncle Remus. That was the first one to get banned.
Yeah, I remember we had a lengthy discussion on that one.
Yeah.
My mom even got in that conversation.
I used to have a copy of it off of a Japanese Laserdisc, and I lent it to somebody, and I never got it back.
That's not cool.
And back at the time, I don't remember who I lent it to, but I never got it back.
I've had that happen with some of my movies. I lent it out to people I never got.
Yeah, but that one couldn't be replaced. That's the problem.
That is true because you can't find that anywhere now.
No. Overseas.
Yeah, that's basically about it.
You can Amazon it, and you take your chances.
Yeah, but you're gonna pay a pretty penny for it.
Yeah.
Just
True.
like the movie I've been trying to find on DVD, the movie Dutch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And like I check a lot of thrift stores I shop at, Goodwill, nothing.
Ed O'Neill?
Yes. But then you look on Amazon, and you can get it for $28 on DVD. I'm sorry, like I don't want to spend $30 for a DVD.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, Dutch, what kind of movie is that? Like, wait, you've never heard of the movie Dutch?
That's a good movie. I like that movie.
Yeah, Ed O'Neill, young Ethan Randall, Christopher McDonald has a cameo in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yep.
It's one of those movies I watch around the holidays every year.
Yeah. Cool.
But I don't know. Anything else that you want to talk about? You want to wrap it up?
I think we pretty much covered it for tonight.
I mean, we still have 250 movies on this list to go over, but we can save that for more shows down the road.
Yeah. Usually about 50 at a clip has been our average.
Yeah, that is true.
51.
51.
51.
You always got to do that one.
Always got to do that bonus pick, you know?
And luckily enough tonight, we had a good one to end the night with. Ron was in his glory.
Yes, Galaxy Quest.
And I mean, yeah. But, I mean, Jack, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We had Gary stop in for a little bit. Andrea, we always like to see her in chat.
Yeah, feel better, Andrea.
Gary says, good job with the thumbs up. Well, Gary, make sure you smash the like button at the top of the screen. Drop us a like on the show.
Yeah, man.
Same with you,
Great
Jack.
job.
Drop a like.
The Power Rangers. They're making a reunion movie, but they're short too.
Yes, Jason
Frank,
and I'm trying to think
who committed suicide recently. Tommy Frank. Tommy Frank. And Amy Jo Johnson, who played the Pink Ranger.
What happened to her?
Has no interest in reprising her role.
Interesting.
Very public about it. So yeah,
I never knew that.
But some of the other guys are back for this new one.
I probably won't see it. I mean, I haven't watched Power
Rangers
in a really
if
long
it's
time.
streaming at some point, I may watch it just for nostalgia.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
10 years down the road when I get nothing else to watch when I'm in my 50s.
Yeah. After you watch The Jerk and some of these other assignments you have.
Yeah, I mean, my list is getting kind of long. At least I watched once bitten, okay?
Got to chip a couple off of there.
And I will. I mean, I'm only human, Rod, okay?
Ugh, I know, man. I know.
I'm gonna boycott the show from now on. It's now going under new ownership. It's going to call it The Basement Show with Mr. Tessie.
My dad has a show?
Huh?
My dad has a show? That's the only Mr. Tessing I know.
Oh, okay. Don't do that. That's contagious.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Well,
4:30 rolls around early usually.
Yeah,
Not so much tomorrow, but today it did.
Yeah, we've all had long days. Oh shit! I was up to 3 o'clock in the morning last night.
Yep.
Goddamn YouTube videos.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody stopping in tonight.
Gary, Jack, Andrea.
Yep.
And then we also had a couple of other reactions, people that didn't really talk. My buddy Just Too Breezy stopped in and like. Julie, like I said, she's at the movie theater. She dropped a like. Morgan dropped in with a reaction. So, reactions, comments, shares, they all help.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and we're always
continuing.
Go ahead.
Without you guys, we're nothing, man. We're just, talking to each other.
That's okay.
That's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but we do appreciate when you guys interact. We have a good time. We hope you do too.
Yeah. And I mean, I always go back to what I say, and that's why I wanted to do these shows live, just so you get that interaction with your people watching. So, and Gary says, without you guys, there is no stream. No, without you guys, there's no stream. As I kick myself out. There you go. Oh well.
Okay.
For some reason, my thing's being weird.
Let me see if I can.
I got it.
Got it? Okay.
Is that better?
There you go.
There you go. Never left, I promise.
Yeah. No, I was seeing double.
Just a true bird vision. I promise it's always just someone. But no, Gary says without you guys, there's no stream. I mean, but without people chatting,
Yeah,
there can
that's
also,
true.
You can also say there's no stream.
And you know, the rest of the team, those guys are outstanding. You know, Darth and Andrea and Morgan. I mean, they all bring their own special talents to the channel, and we couldn't do it without them either. So we appreciate the kind words, but it's definitely a team effort.
I will completely 100% agree with that. I mean, and someone who has started the show and then have people reach out wanting to help out with the show, I always say I'm forever in debt. Because without you guys helping me, I'd be sitting here by myself just talking to myself. And it's not fun.
We've all learned that.
So,
not fun.
But it's definitely a pleasure being brought into some of these people's home so they can interact and hang out with us. So hopefully going forward we can just get bigger and better.
Yes, absolutely. Spread the word. Spread the word.
Yep.
And the Phils with a big win tonight.
Who did they play tonight?
The Reds.
Well, what's that? 3-1 against the Reds this year?
Yeah.
And 1-2 versus Miami. What do you know?
What do you know? What a shock.
And then Jack wants to know real quick, have we seen the Fast and the Furious movies? I stopped watching Fast and the Furious after movie 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.
I think after Paul Walker left, that was the beginning of the end.
Yes. Luckily, there's only this year and then next year we're making Fast and the Furious Part X and then dividing it into 2 segments. And then we're done with the Fast and the Furious. But other than that, we will be back next Monday, Ron, for some sports talk.
Sports Gladiators on Monday.
And then, a full list of shows next week. Sports Gladiators Monday, Entertainment Show next Tuesday. Morgan always comes up with something fun for that. Wednesday's Video Game Mania, where I'm actually trying to set up a debate with a couple people. So, if you've ever owned a PlayStation or an Xbox console, if you want to be Team Microsoft or Team Sony, let me know. I'm trying to get people to come on and have a little fun. Do like a friendly debate on if I was new to the gaming systems, what system would you want me to buy?
Okay, that's cool.
Just something to do a little different, have fun with it. And then Thursday night, Doss will be back for another Turnbuckle Thursdays. And then next Friday, Andrea promises she will be back. And we're going to do some movie trivia.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for stopping in.
NBA playoffs do start tomorrow. Sixers have a game at 1 o'clock.
Yes, they do. Against the Brooklyn Nets. The Ben Simmons-less Brooklyn Nets. Ben is not going to play anymore this season. So
good. He can stay home. Because he knows he'd be out after the first round anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that Monday.
Yes.
But
indeed.
Like Gary said, I hope everyone has... Thanks for everything, everybody. I'll have a great weekend and stay safe. And absolutely, I completely agree with that. And we will see you Monday night. So, adios.
Peace out.